Hi, my name is Linda Johnson. I teach here at Nevada City Elementary School. We're going to be doing Saluting New Readers.
Second grade.
And they're in second grade right now. And this is my 7th year doing this. And it's been a great experience, and I've loved every minute of it. And I hope you enjoy their reading.
Hi, my name is Chandler and I'm going to be reading Thidwick the Big-Hearted Moose. Up at Winnebago one day at the far northern shore lives a huge herd of moose about 60 or more, and they all go around in a big happy bunch looking for nice tender moose moss to munch. Up at Winnebago one day they were munching, just strolling along and enjoying their munching, for the moose moss that day was especially fine, when it happened that Thidwick, the last moose in line, saw a bingle bug sitting. The bug called out, "Hey, it's such a long road and it's such a hot day. Would you mind if I rode on your horns for a way?" "Of course not," smiled Thidwick, the big-hearted moose. "I'm happy my antlers can be of some use. There's room there to spare, and I'm happy to share. Be my guest, and I hope that you're comfortable there." So the bingo bug picked a nice easy seat, and the moose went on looking for moose moss to eat. Well, an hour or so later, the bug heard a squeak and heard the small voice of a tree spider speak. "I say," said the spider, "you've got a fine place. That moose seems so friendly. It is such a nice place. If I got on too, do you think you wouldn't mind?" "Hop aboard," laughed the bug, "and I think that you'll find that the moose won't object. He's the big-hearted kind." "Accept," said the spider with joy and delight, and started ahead, wag on the horn to the right. While the spider was spinning, he heard a gay song, and a fresh little zinza bird came along. He stopped and he stared and chirped, "Well, well, well, what a smart place to build, what a great place to dwell. I've been living in trees forever since I was born, but here's something new, why not live on a horn? If there's room there for 2, then there's room there for 3. There's plenty of room," laughed the bug, "and it's free." Thidwick stopped talking. What was all that talking? Thank you for listening to me read. If you want to hear the rest of the book, check it out at your local library. Hi, my name is Sean and I'm going to be reading Apple and Darrow. I could not gamble on a second one. My fingers quivered as the horseman came nearer and nearer. He suspected nothing. Then the road curved. Between 2 rocks rode Gessler toward me. Now he faced me. I whispered to my bow, "Bow, be strong, arrow, be swift." "Oh, father!" exclaimed the 2 boys. "Yes, the arrow is swift, my sons." Gessler had no time to cry out. He slumped to the ground like a sack of meal as his horse reared. The soldiers were not far behind him. Terrified, they stopped, dismounted quickly, and rushed to the aid of their dead lord. It was too late, but I had no time to stand and watch them. I ran back through the forest, and by nightfall I had reached the hut of Kunz. "So the governor is really dead," sighed Hedwig. "Yes, Gessler is dead. He died as many men dies, poor or rich, great or lowly. Uri is free of him at last," said Tell, looking into the smoldering fire. "Kunz was happy when I told him of Gessler's end," continued Tell. "He slapped his thigh and bellowed. His daughter had suffered at the hands of one of Gessler's soldiers, so you know how he felt. He brought forth a bottle of rare old wine, and we drank to the freedom of Uri." "And of Squiz and Alderwin too," added the grandfather. "Yes, to the freedom of all of us," replied Hedwig. "Light with wine and food, I hastened homeward," said Tell. "I did not feel tired, for I was still wrought up over what had happened. I walked and walked. No man saw me but Kunz. I told no man of Gessler's death. I slipped through Aldorf and Berglund like a shadow, and not even a dog barked. Walter and Rudy sighed. The story was over. They looked up into their father's face, and their eyes were shining. "But father," asked Walter, "won't the soldiers look for you now? Will you have to hide in the forest in the daytime and sleep among the rocks at night as Arnold did?" "No, son, I do not have to hide now," replied Tell, stroking his Hedwig hand, for she was trembling. If you would like to hear the rest of the story, check it out at your local library.
Hi, my name is Matthew. I'm going to be reading the story of Ferdinand. Once upon a time in Spain, there was a little bull and his name was Ferdinand. All the other little bulls he lived with would run and jump and butt their heads together.
Skip it. Keep going.
He missed a page.
Turn it back.
Put it back, just
But not Ferdinand. He liked to just sit quietly and smell the flowers. He had a favorite spot out in the pasture under a cork tree. It was his favorite tree, and he would sit in its shade all day and smell the flowers. Sometimes his mother, who was a cow, was worried about him. She was afraid he would be lonesome all by himself. "Why don't you run and jump and play with the other little bulls and skip your head," she would say, but Ferdinand would shake his head. "I like it better here, where I can just sit quietly and smell the flowers." His mother saw that he was not lonesome because she was an understanding mother. Even though she was a cow, she let him just sit there and be happy. Thank you for listening to me read. If you want to hear the rest of the story, check it out at your local library.
Hi, my name is Jack. I'm going to be reading Ralph S. Mouse. Ralph was tired of sulking about, hiding in mittens and boots, scrounging blue-flavored seeds from 4th grade mosaics, and eating sugar, which he had overheard children say rotted teeth. He was nervous about the mouse hunt that was about to begin at Sneed Elementary School, all because he had innocently wanted to leave the inn to save an old man's job. Ralph felt that he was being blamed for everything that went wrong, and that trying to be good was not worthwhile. Ralph left Melissa's boot. Because he did not want Ryan to find him, he slipped behind a row of textbooks on health in a bookcase under her window and sat there, pondering large problems such as unfairness of life and shortage of liberty and justice for well-meaning mice. Ralph longed to return to the inn, but he knew even if he found a way there, he could never face the jeering little relatives. First, they would demand to know what happened to his motorcycle. Then they would tell him it served him right that it was broken because he had been so selfish. But I've got to go someplace, Ralph decided. Perhaps he could move to a restaurant in Cucaracha. And now that the snow is melting, there was no danger there was no longer any danger of being buried. However, his feet might freeze or he might drown in the dewy slush. He was too angry and trying to ask for help. What Ralph needed was a transportation, other of course than feet. Ralph, tired of tried to make plans. If he could somehow if he could somehow get hold of the pieces of his motorcycle and of his motorcycle, and if he could manage to. Thanks for listening to me read. If you'd like to hear the rest of the story, check it out at your local library.
Hi, my name is Madeline and I'm going to be reading Pop on Pop. Up, pop, pop is up. Cup, pop, pop in cup. Pop, cup, cup on pop. House, mouse, mouse on house. House, mouse, house on mouse. All tall, we all are tall. All small, we all are small. All ball, we all play ball. Ball wall, up on a wall. All fall off the wall. Day play, we play all day. Night fight, we fight all night. He, me, he is after me. Him, Jim, Jim is after him. CB, we see a B. CB3, now we see 3. 3 tree, 3 fish in a tree. Fish in a tree, how can that be? Red, red, they call him Red. Red bed, I am in bed. Red, Ned, Ted, and Ed in bed. Pat, Pat, they call him Pat. Pat sat on hat. Pat, cat, Pat sat on cat. Pat, bat, Pat sat on bat. No, Pat, no, don't sit on that. Sad, Dad, bad hat. Dad is very, very sad. He had a bad day. What a day Dad had. Sing, sing. What is that thing? Sing, sing. That thing can sing? Thank you for listening to me read. If you like to hear the rest of the story, check it out at your local library. Hello, my name is Lauren, and I'm going to be reading How Do Dinosaurs Say Goodnight? How do dinosaurs say goodnight when Papa comes in to turn off the lights? Does a dinosaur slug his tail and pout? Does he throw his teddy bear all about? Does he stomp his feet on the floor and shout, I want to hear one book more? Does a dinosaur roar? How does a dinosaur say goodnight when Mama comes in to turn off the lights? Does he swing his neck from side to side? Does he up and demand a piggyback ride? Does he note? Does he moan? Does he slump? Does he sigh? Does he fall on top of his covers and cry? No, dinosaur, don't they? Don't ever try. They give it a kiss. They turn off the light. They tuck in their tail. They whisper goodnight. They give a big hug, then give one kiss more. Good night, little dinosaur. Thank you for listening to me read.
All right.
Hi, my name is Christopher, and I'm going to be reading Scooby-Doo, Mummies at the Mall. The Coolsville Mall was packed. Scooby-Doo, Shaggy, and the gang stood in the crowd of people. Let's figure out what we want to do, said Shaggy, before we get squeezed any tighter. All at once, the crowd moved through a set of doors. Oh, said Daphne, we're in front of the movie theater. The movie must be about to start, said Mama. Fred nodded. We should yell. Shaggy pointed to the movie poster. Mummies on the Loose is playing. He shivered. Like, we'll catch you later. Scoob and I will find something else to do. Shaggy and Scooby stopped in a pet store. 2 dogs were being groomed. Care for a day of beauty? Shaggy asked Scooby. Scooby shook his head. Row away. Next, they went to a store called Snoop City. Shaggy and Scooby gazed at the cozy bed, soft pillows, and thick blankets. Scooby yawned. Shaggy stretched. 40 winks sound pretty good to me. What do you think, good buddy? Good buddy? Shaggy whirled around. Scooby wasn't there. Then Shaggy spotted him. He had run outside. He was seated in front of a giant hot dog. Hey, that's just a guy in a costume, said Shaggy. The hot dog guy handed Shaggy a flyer. All you can eat day at Coolsville Mall. Shaggy read, go to any restaurant, eat till you're stuffed. All for one price. First stop, Big Burger. Shaggy shouted, leading Scooby into the restaurant. Thank you for listening to me read. If you'd like to hear the rest of the story, check it out at your local library.
Hi, my name is Dylan, and I'm going to be reading Marvin K. Mooney read it. Please go now. The time has come. The time has come. The time is now. Just go, go, go. I don't care how. You can go by foot. You can go by cow. Marvin K. Mooney, will you please go now? You can go on skates. You can go on skis. You can go in a hat. But please go, please. I don't care. You can go by bike. You can go on a ice bike if you like. If you like, you can go in an old blue shoe. Just go, 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 please do, do, do. Marvin K. Mooney, I don't care how. Marvin K. Mooney, will you please go now? You can go on stilts, you can go by fish. You can go in a crank car if you wish. If you wish, you may go by lion's tail, or stamp yourself and go by mail. Marvin K. Mooney, Don't you know the time has come to go, go, go? Get on your way, please, please, Marvin Kaye. You might like going in a Zumble-Zay. You can go by balloon or broomstick, or you can go by camel in a bureau drawer. You can go by bumbleboat or jet. I don't care how you go, just get. Get yourself a gazoon, and you can go with a boom. Marvin, 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 will you please leave this room? Marvin K. Mooney, I don't care how. Marvin K. Mooney, will you please go now? I said go, and go I meant. The time had come, so Marvin went.
Thank you for listening to me read.
Hi, my name is Ryan, and I'm going to be reading Exploring the Titanic. No one ever dreamed that her first voyage would also be her last. On the night of April 14, 1912, the passenger liner RMS Titanic struck an iceberg in the North Atlantic. Within minutes, water began pouring into her lower decks. Less than 3 hours later, her propellers started to rise out of the water. For more than 1,500 people left on board, there was little hope of escape. Soon the biggest ship the world had ever seen would plunge to the bottom of the ocean. In July of 1986, Robert Ballard and 2 members of his team descended 2.5 miles to the ocean floor in their tiny submarine. 1 year earlier, they had located the wreck of the Titanic. Now they wanted to explore the sunken liner at close range. As they shone their lights on the rusted wreck of the lost ship, the events of that night 74 years earlier seemed to come alive once again. I'm sure every diver dreams about the Titanic, said the speaker at the Sea River meeting. To dive down and have that fabulous ship would be the ultimate thrill in underwater exploration. But she's probably too far down for anybody to ever find her, or far less explore her. It was 1967, and I was a young member of the Boston Sea Rivers and group of people who loved the sea and the excellence of underwater exploring. Thank you for listening to me read. If you'd like to hear the rest of the story, check it out at your local library.
Hi, my name is Gannon, and I am going to be reading The Lorax. At the far end of town where the gricklegrass grows and the wind smells slow and sour when it blows, and no birds ever sing except for old crows, is the street of the lifted Lorax. And deep in the gricklegrass, some people say, if you look deep enough, you can still see today where the Lorax once stood just as long as it could before somebody lifted the Lorax away. What was the Lorax, and why was it there? And why was it lifted and taken somewhere? From the far end of town where the gricklegrass grows, the old one slur still lives here. Ask him, he knows. You won't see the one slur. Don't knock at his door, he stays in his lurkum on top of his store. He lurks in his lurkum cold under the roof where he makes his own clothes out of
vermouth. And on special dank midnights in August, he peeks out of the shutters. Sometimes he speaks and tells how the Lorax was lifted away. He'll tell you, perhaps, if you're willing to pay. On the end of a rope, he lets down a tin pail, and if you have 15 cents and a nail and the shell of a great-great-great-grandfather snail, then he pulls up the pail, makes a most careful count to see if you've paid him the proper amount. Then he hides what you paid him away in his secret strange hole in his glabrous glove. Then he grunts, I will call you by whisper my phone, for the secrets I tell are for your ears alone. Thank you for listening to me read. If you want to hear the rest of the story, check it out at your local library.
Hi, my name's Lily, and I'm going to be reading The Cat in the Hat. The sun did not shine, it was too wet to play, so we sat in the house all that cold, cold, wet day. I sat there with Sally, we sat there, we two, and I said, how I wish we had something to do. Too wet to go out, and too cold to play ball, so we sat in the house, we did nothing at all. So all we could do was to sit, 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 and we did not like it, not one little bit. And then something went bump, how the bump made us jump. We looked, then we saw him step in on the mat. We looked, and we saw him, the cat in the hat. And he said to us, why do you sit there like that? I know it is wet, and the sun is not sunny, but we can have lots of good fun that is funny. I know some good games we could play, said the cat. I know some new tricks, said the cat in the hat. A lot of good tricks. I will show them to you. Your mother will not mind at all if I do. Then Sally and I did not know what to say. Our mother was out of the house for the day. Now, have no fear, said the cat. My tricks are not bad, said the cat in the hat. We can have lots of good fun, if you wish, with a game that I call Up, Up with a Fish. Put me down, said the fish. This is no fun at all. Put me down, said the fish. I do not wish to fall. Thank you for listening to me read. If you want to hear the rest of the story, check it out at your local library. Hi, my name is Jennifer, and I'm going to be reading Horton Hears a Who. On the 15th of May in the jungle of Nool, in the heat of the day, in the cool of the pool, he was splashing and enjoying the jungle's great joys when Horton the elephant heard a small noise. So Horton stopped splashing. He looked toward the sound. That's funny, thought Horton. There's no one around. Then he heard it again, just a very faint yelp, as if some teeny person were calling for help. I'll help you, said Horton, but who are you where? He looked and he looked. He could see nothing there but a small speck of dust blowing past through the air. I say, murmured Horton, I've never heard tell of a small speck of dust that is able to yell, you know what I think? Why, I think
that there must be someone on top of that small speck of dust. Some sort of creature of very small size, too small to be seen by an elephant's eyes. Some poor little person who's shaking with fear that he'll blow in the pool. He has no way to steer. I'll just have to save him because after all, a person's a person no matter how small. So gently and using the greatest of care, the elephant stretching his great trunk through the air, and he lifted the dust bag and carried it over and placed it down safe on a very soft clover. Humph, humph, a voice. 'Twas a sour kangaroo, and the young kangaroo in her pouch said, "Humph, too. Why, that speck is as small as the head of a pin. A person on that? Why, there never has been." Thank you for listening to me read. Thank you for listening to me read. If you like to hear the rest of the story, check it out at your local library.
Hello, my name is Weston, and I am going to read Gerald McBoing Boing. This is the story of Gerald McCoy and the strange thing that happened to that little boy. They say it all started when Gerald was 2. That's the age kids start talking, at least most of them do. Well, when he started talking, do you know what he said? He didn't talk words, he went boing boing instead. "What's that?" cried his father, his face turning gray. "That's a very odd thing for a young boy to say." And poor Gerald's father rushed to the phone and picked out the number of Dr. Malone. "Come over fast," the poor father pled. "Our boy can't speak words, he goes boing boing instead." "I see," said the doctor. "It's just as you said. He doesn't speak words, he goes boing boing instead." "I have no cure for this. I can't handle the case." He packed up his pills and walked out of the place. Then months passed and Gerald got louder and louder till one day he went boom like a big keg of power. It was then his father said, "This is enough. He'll drive us both mad with this terrible stuff. A boy of his age shouldn't sound like a fool. He's got to learn words. We must send him to school." So Gerald marched off an obedient creature. But he soon was back home with a note from his teacher from Public School 7 to Mrs. McCoy. "Your little son Gerald's a most hopeless boy. You cannot accept him, for we have a rule that pupils must not go cuckoo in our school. Your boy will go honk all his life, I'm afraid. Sincerely, yours, Fanny. Schultz, teacher, 1st grade." Hello, thank you for listening to me read. If you would like to hear the rest of the story, check it out at your local library.
Yay!
Hi, my name is Cobalt Lofgren, and I'm going to be reading Real Live Monsters. What living monster has 3 eyes, smells like a rotten garbage pail, eats animals the size as a small bus, and sometimes hunts humans? The Komodo dragon, the world's largest living lizard. Yes, Komodo dragons are real, but don't look over your shoulder. The world's largest lizard only lives on 6 small islands near Indonesia. Lucky, you may not want to meet this one in a dark alley. A Komodo dragon has a forked tongue, long sharp claws, and razor-sharp teeth. Its tail slashes from side to side like a sharp sword. Its body is covered with rough scales like a suit of armor. The largest Komodo ever measured was 10 feet long and weighed 365 pounds. Most Komodo dragons are up to 5 to 9 feet long. Since they can swallow animals about as big as they are, their weight depends on how recently they ate and how huge their meal was. What do you think this guy weighs after lunch? Komodo dragons kill water buffalo that weigh 1,300 pounds. They tear them up. Thank you for listening to me read. If you want to hear the rest of the story, check it out at your local library.
Yes!
Hi, my name is Shannon and I'm going to be reading And to Think That I Saw It on Mulberry Street. When I leave home to walk to school, Dad always says to me, Marco, keep your eyelids up and see what you can see. But when I tell him where I've been and what I think I've seen, he looks at me and sternly says, your eyesight's much too keen. Stop telling such outlandish tales. Stop turning minnows into whales. Now what can I say when I get home today? All the long way to school and all the way back, I've looked and I've looked and I've kept careful track. But all that I've noticed except my own feet was a horse and a wagon on Mulberry Street. That's nothing to tell, well, that won't do, of course, just a broken down wagon that's drawn by a horse. That can't be my story, that's only a start. I'll say that a zebra was pulling the cart. And that is a story that no one can beat when I say that I saw it on Mulberry Street. Yes, the zebra is fine, but I think it's a shame. Such a marvelous beast with a cart that's so tame. The story would really be better if the driver was a charioteer, a gold and blue chariot, something to meet, rumbling like thunder in Mulberry Street. No, it won't do at all. A zebra too small. A reindeer is better. He's fast and he's fleet, and he'd look mighty smart on old Mulberry Street. Hold on a minute, there's something wrong. A reindeer hates the way it feels to pull a thing that runs on wheels. He'd much hyper instead if he could pull a fancy sled. Thank you for listening to me read. If you want to hear the rest of the story, check it out at your local library.
It was the beginning. My name is Hayden, and I'm going to be reading Just Another Ordinary Day. It was the beginning of just another day. As the first rays of sunlight slid under the door, Amanda awoke to the sound of her alarm, which rang at 6:30 a.m. every school day. She took her time getting dressed because there were so many buckles and buttons. Then she packed her books and pencils into her backpack before flying downstairs for breakfast. She was never very hungry in the morning. All she could eat was one boiled egg and 2 pieces of toast. Every morning she got a lift to school with Mrs. Ellsworth. Mrs. Ellsworth was the oldest person on the block and told amazing stories about life in the olden days. She also drove the oldest car in the world, so they were never on time. Amanda hated being late for school. They made such a fuss about opening the school gate. He liked science with Mr. Wilson. He would often put away the books and spend the whole morning doing experiments. At lunchtime, Amanda discovered she hadn't packed her sandwich. Luckily, she had just enough money to buy some lunch from the cafeteria. Later, Amanda and her friends talked to Sue, the new girl, who told them stories about her home in a land far away. Thank you for listening to me read. If you want to hear the rest of the story, check it out at your local library.
Hello, my name is Tybo, and I'm going to be reading the Foot Book. Left foot, right foot, right. Feet in the morning, feet at night. Left foot, right. Wet foot, dry foot, high foot, low foot. Front feet, back feet, red feet, black feet. Left foot, right foot, feet. How many feet you need? Slow feet, quick feet, trick feet, sick feet. Up feet, down feet, here come clown feet. Small feet, big feet, here come big feet. His feet, whole feet, fuzzy 4 feet. In the house and on the street, how many feet you need? Up in the air feet, over trail feet. More and more feet, 24 feet. You'll come more and more feet. Left foot, right foot, feet. Oh, how many feet you need. Thank you for listening to me read.
Hi, my name is Carly, and I'm going to be reading Mouse Tales. A mouse once found a wishing well. Now all my wishes can come true, cried the mouse. She cried. She threw a penny into the well and made a wish. Ouch, said the well. The next day the mouse came back to the well. She threw a penny into the well and made a wish. Ouch, said the well. The next day the mouse came back again. She threw a penny into the well and made a wish. Oh, would maybe into the wouldn't. I don't get it.
well would stop saying ouch. Ouch, said the well. That hurts. What shall I do? Cried the mouse. My wishes will never come true this way. The mouse ran home. She took a pillow from her bed. This may help, said the mouse, and she ran back to the well. The mouse threw a pillow into the well. Then she threw a penny into the well and made a wish. Ah, that feels much better, said the well. Good, said the mouse. Now I can start wishing. After that day, the mouse made many wishes by the well, and every one of them came true. Thank you for listening to me read. If you would like to hear the rest of the story, you can check it out at your local library.
Hello, my name is Stella, and I'm going to be reading Arthur's Teacher Moves In. It was Friday afternoon, and Arthur was relaxing. Phew! No more Mr. Ratburn all week, Arthur said. Arthur, said Mom, I just heard some bad news. The snow collapsed on Mr. Ratburn's roof, and he has nowhere to stay. Okay, said Arthur, still watching TV. Stay here! Arthur ran after Mom. Mom, what did where is, what did you say? Arthur stammered. Arthur's teacher's going to stay here, sang D.W. Just until his roof is fixed, said Mom. Arthur couldn't believe it. Later that day, Arthur told Buster the news. It's too weird, Arthur said. My teacher in my house, walking on my carpet, eating from my spoons, and touching my stuff? Buster agreed. School is at school and home is at home because that's just the way it's supposed to be. Exactly, Arthur nodded. But his parents didn't understand. It's just plain wrong, Arthur tried to explain. It goes against nature. The poor man has nowhere else to go, said Dad. He's going to stay here, said Mom, and we're all going to make him feel welcome. Arthur tried to imagine Mr. Ratburn staying in his house, but the picture in his head was too horrible. The next day, Arthur borrowed books from the brain and rushed home to put up new posters. What are you doing? Asked D.W. You wouldn't understand, Arthur answered. Are you trying to make Mr. Ratworm think that you're smarter than you really are? Go away, Arthur said. Then the doorbell rang. Arthur, D.W., called Mom. Come say hello. Hi, Mr. Ratbite, said D.W. Is it true you torture kids? Here I am, Arthur cried. Welcome, hello, come in. Please take these up to your room, Arthur, said Dad. He's staying in Arthur's room, sang D.W. I put your sleeping bags in D.W.'s room, said Mom. Hey, no fair, said D.W. Thank you for listening to me read. If you would like to hear the rest of the story, check it out at your local library.
What's fun?
Reading!
And where do you go to school?
NCE!
And what grade are you in?
Second!
And what's fun?
Reading!
Hip hip read!
Hip hip read!
Hip hip read!
Hip hip read!
Hip hip read!